Hey guys, are you sick of playing the meta build, seeing lightning strike that, ground slam of earth shattering this, or whatever the skills are that they're called? These bleed, lacerate, gladiator, cap, block everything, a million EHP, freaking crazy stuff, and you want to play something niche and off meta? I've got 3 builds for you. Disclaimer though, I'm not really a build guide maker, so don't expect these to be amazing. We're gonna go ahead and start off with a real niche one here. Juggernaut Vigilant Strike. See, when I was looking at the patch notes, I happened to notice that Vigilant Strike has 745% effective added damage and attack damage base. The single highest of all the melee skills. It's pretty crazy. So I was thinking, you know what? We can make this work. We're playing the Juggernaut. We're taking, the endurance nodes to get thick, get tanky. I actually forgot that we were doing this. I'm pretty sure we're supposed to be going over here. But I think the tankiness is better. I can't remember what I ended up deciding. But yeah, we're taking the nodes for endurance charges. We've got unbreakable. And we've got undeniable for some attack speed. And, strength doesn't hurt. Gives you health. It's a kind of a impale crit kind of variation type thing. We've thrown in a couple war cries. We're getting rage. If you want to see the configuration here, it's pretty ethical. We don't have any banners planted. No like boosting stats. This is the initial effect. It's not the maximum effect. We have 30 rage, which is pretty realistic. I think we have, what is this? 1, 3, and then up here. So we have 5 rage on hit, and we're hitting 4 attacks a second. That's, it's pretty realistic that we'll have 30 rage pretty quickly. And the only thing that we have here is intimidated, because you get that when you have rage. We have got some decent leech on hit, decent regen. We're not even using Enduring Cry if you wanted to throw that in there. I wanted to try to minimize the amount of buttons I'm pressing throughout the map. So only have 2 cries. And then we have a banner for the boss, but that's just during the boss. Where we running mark on hit for this. We've got Blood Rage and Molten Shell. Here's with it out, which is, it's all right. It's just shy of 11k Fizz max hit. And then we did not cap the Chaos Reds on the gear. This isn't like insane gear. I guess I didn't even fix the int requirements, but you'll have to take care of that. None of this gear is really like exactly what you're looking for. Don't follow it to a T. Just make sure to cap your reses, cap your or get your attributes, and then stack as much armor and health as you can. None of this is crazy. It's with the new weapons, you're going to be able to get all this stuff, the new bases. We have power charges through Assassin's Mark. We have frenzy charges through a Blood Rage. We have endurance charges through being a chief, or from being a juggernaut. And we have socketed in here endurance charge on we don't have that in. I think that is built in though, right? Gain endurance charge when you're hit, gain 1 every second. Oh, that's over here. Chance to gain 1 stun ability. You can run that if you want to. I think I drop brutality for it. When I was originally building this out, because I changed a couple of things around and just threw in what was that highest stuff. So I apologize. I'm not trying to trip you guys up or anything. But yeah, so we have endurance charge on stun, and we're scaling some stun nodes here. Or not stun nodes. I'm sorry. We're getting endurance charges from being a jug. You don't need to do the stun thing. That's on a different character. My bad. Next build. Anyways, we have decent health. You can stack up your trauma stacks up to 48. I've seen obviously a lot higher, but this is just the best that I could do. I wasn't able to cap the block chance at all, but once you kind of unlock clusters, you do maybe like a 2 cluster setup, like one here, one there, or if you spread over here because you want both the reservation or something, you should be able to get probably better attack speed, and just kind of probably closer to crit cap and a lot of better options. You don't have to take as many nodes here for impale, but this is kind of the tree that we landed on here for some kind of budget gear, decent damage. And then I wanted to go ahead and activate this because I thought this was a cool tech that I'm doing actually on all the characters. But it is increased duration of Molten Shell, which allows you to have really high uptime on Molten Shell. This says it's going to be up 76% of the time. So you're going to be 76% of the time. This is your max hits are going to look like this. It's going to be very comfy, very nice. You got these endurance power charges and stuff. It's going to be very relaxed. So it seems pretty good. And then on a similar version of that kind of that vibe, but on a chieftain, and scaling specifically using a one-handed mace and doing the endurance charge on stun, we're scaling as much as we can with the Fizz's extra fire damage from Infernal Cry and from added fire damage, and then eventually when you get Enlightened, you could throw in Herald of Ash and get even more on top of that. We are running a very similar setup as far as like Battle Mage's Cry, but rather than doing Intimidating Cry on the second one, we are doing Infernal Cry. And then once you have enough reservation, or if you wanted to Arrogance Precision, you could auto-exert Intimidating Cry for some boost of damage. It's not crazy, so I don't have it thrown in there. Then I also just activated the Molten Shell just to show you guys this. But so this one can stack up to a little bit less as far as the trauma stacks, 41s to 48. Still solid damage though, as you can see. And you know, with more investment, obviously these things are going to show more yield. But yeah, we've got these endurance charges on stun. We're stacking lots of stun chance here with this node. You're gonna get the bonus damage from this, which isn't even calculated in the damage. So imagine this, but 50% more for all of the Fizz Extra, which we actually have even more Fizz Extra, because Warcry power is infinite on this, and we're scaling this buff effect up by so much. This is a 45% increase. And then we got a 30% there, so it's a 75% increase. It's going to be a pretty solid amount of Fizz's Extra. But yeah, pretty similar, just with a mace and Heavy Strike instead of Vigilant Strike. But all in all, a pretty interesting and fun build. But yeah. And then our last one, and this is my personal league starter that I'm going to go. I'm really excited about it. Is the Juggernaut Sweep. I'm hyped for this one. It's going to be really fun. We have taken basically a couple of Impale nodes. This one, I guess it's like, this is an Axe one, but it has Impale effect. This node here. So we're doing a bit of Impale. We're getting our attacks lowered as much as possible so we can run as many auras as possible without having to use Arrogance. Though, you know, once we get Enlightened and stuff, we might throw in some Arrogance, throw in some stuff. Doing the same tech I'll go ahead and show you, but this was a little bit lower instead of that 76 that we saw on the other one, because we were taking more duration for trauma. We're not stacking trauma on this because it's not a strike skill. We've got 69% uptime. So still pretty decent though. Without it though, I'll go ahead and turn this off to show you the EHP. Still decent. We got a almost 11k Fizzmax hit, 10.8, still pretty good. We are running Precision, Blood and Sand, Pride, and Determination. We have Battle Mage's Cry. It's the only button we have to push, during this, other than War Banner when we place that down for boss stuff. We've got this, Brutality for more Fizz damage. We got Impale for our Impale chance and damage. Pretty stock standard. Decent AoE. It's gonna be pretty fun. But yeah, we even have culling somehow, which I quite haven't figured out yet. And then also, yeah, this is once we have enough kind of reservation to run this. I don't want to have to click this all the time. If you wanted to, you can include this. It's just you're exerting 2 attacks, then you have to click it again. Whereas this is 5 attacks, and it's just a little bit easier to kind of manage. But if you wanted to throw in Intimidating Cry, you could. But yeah, outside of that, we're doing Rage. We have 5 Rage hits. 5 Rage on hit, so 30 Rage is pretty reasonable. I'm pretty sure we have 32 as our max, but I didn't want to put that in. I'm going to uncheck Onslaught here because I believe Onslaught would have to come through a flask. I want to boost the damage here, but we've got all 3 charges. We've got Blood Rage, which is giving us Frenzy charges. We got Endurance charges from being a Juggernaut, and Power charges come from the Assassin's Mark that we're using. The Assassin's Mark gets us higher crit, but if you wanted to instead, you could run Vulnerability, and that gives you a higher amount of damage. If you see, it's about 20k-ish damage, and then it gives you that chance to bleed. But I was kind of really going for this crit variant of Sweep. So that's kind of what we have here. Nothing crazy, and then I threw some uniques in that might be good, but aren't necessary. But yeah, that's it. We're pretty much set out ready for the next league. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, that is it. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. Before you guys go, all of these builds have it where you can exert ambush. You can use ambush will exert attack that gives it crit chance and crit multi to the base, and it is massive. It immediately caps you on crit. Even if this was lower, I've used this where it said 20% here, and then I clicked it and it went to 100 straight up, and it always boosts the crit multi so high. It gives you a massive damage increase, and the base duration on it is hold on, let me turn it on real quick. I read the cooldown, not duration. The cooldown on it is super low for it. It's skilled cooldown of 5 seconds, which is not bad at all. You click it, it's 23 mana, and then you just start sweeping around. You're just spinning around. It's very solid. You probably get it off a couple of times during a boss fight. I'm very excited for this build. I've always wanted to get a sweep build that's good. I've tried it once before and it wasn't very good, but I'm very excited for it. Yeah, again, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Thank you for tuning in and watching. And if you like and enjoy this content, or if you want to see more of the sweep build, or potentially any of these builds, I might play them down the line. Make sure to subscribe and check out my Twitch. Thank you. POBs will be down below. Have a good one.